Desertification, the degradation of previously fertile land into arid, hostile land. Today we'll take a brief look through the history and the processes of desertification and take a detailed look at one of the many proposed ideas to solve it. But first, why is this such an important topic? Human population has been multiplying at incredible rates since reaching its first billion inhabitants 207 years ago. Developments in agriculture have been required in order to meet the demands of this growing population, and a lack of care has been used due to misunderstanding and a fingers crossed type scenario. Hopefully our land can sustain another harvest. If we step into history, we see that for as long as agriculture has been around, so too has desertification as a process, although of course, deserts and arid areas have been around for much longer. The ancient Mesopotamian region is the first documented case of land degradation and desertification. In this region during the 4th century BC, they developed irrigation to water their crops, although unfortunately, this clever use of irrigation degraded their fertile soils through salinity. The desert areas of the Mediterranean are believed by many historians to have been brought about after the conquering of the area by the Romans and Byzantine, that their cultivation of the land is a reason for its decline. A more recent example of mass desertification is China. Between the years of 1975 and 1987, 25,200 square kilometers of land was desertified. In 1996, surveys of the Chinese land estimated that 3.3 million square kilometers were affected by desert, 1.1 of which were a result of desertification. As our understanding about desertification expands, so too does research and development into a solution. One such endeavour is proving that we can feed our growing population with our desert land. The Sahara Forest Project is showing incredibly promising progress in technology. Based on greenhouse technology, the project uses seawater as both a temperature and humidity regulator and solar power as electricity and desalination. Hi John, thanks for your time today. So, the Sahara Forest Project. Could you tell me a little about its conception?
Yeah, sure, Nat. Thank you very much. Well, we unveiled our idea for the first time in 2009 at the UN climate negotiations in Copenhagen, and we were mildly ridiculed, told it was too good to be true, but we persevered anyway, and we were rewarded in seeing the project become a foundation in 2010, and finally a company in 2011, during which time we were lucky enough to obtain 220 hectares of land in Qatar. It all flourished from there.
From there, how long did it take to see production start and a crop harvested?
Not long at all. Development began in 2011, and by 2012 we saw our first baby cucumber. The following year we began to see edible-sized cucumbers. As we exploit the land, we condemn ourselves to desertification on a mass scale, and population increase and food demand soar. Unless we can utilize our deserts, we'll be looking at starvation on a mass scale. Humanity needs to act now.
Could you explain a little bit about the science behind what causes desertification?
So, a number of forces work together to cause desertification. When land is forced beyond carrying capacity or forced to maintain crops for an extended period of time, nutrients such as nitrogen are absorbed by plants but not replaced, and factors such as soil acidity and salinity cause infertility. Grazing causes a compaction of soil underneath the feet of livestock, eventually leading to the ground being unsuitable for plants to take root and grow, as well as having less of the capacity to absorb water.
Amongst the critics is local desertification expert Dr. Pickles. Recently you were quoted in a magazine as being against the Sahara Forest Project. What makes you so against the idea?
When I sat down with the project managers from this particular project and discussed costs, it came to light that 220 hectare site in Qatar cost $6 million to construct. The managers estimate an annual harvest of nearly 720,000 cucumbers for 10 years, but still, in order to make any sort of profit, they would need to sell at nearly $1 per cucumber, 5 times higher than the local market's going rate.
But so far the project is only on a small scale and is hardly off the ground.
That may be true, but I still have my doubts. The project utilises cheap technology already, cardboard hedges and solar power. However, they still managed to ring in $6 million. I believe that by multiplying the size of the land upon which they grow crops, so too will they multiply the costs, not saving anything.
Desertification has been a side effect of agriculture since its inception, as indicated by the history of the people who've exploited the land. This issue is seen worldwide, with specific cases being China, Qatar, and Jordan. Because this is a direct cause of food growth, we must solve the problem. Our need for food isn't about to stop. That's where the Sahara Forest Project comes in. Its mix of greenhouse and seawater technology is paving a path towards a solution, although it's argued by some as being too expensive to be worthwhile. To consider desertification an unimportant issue is foolish, an opinion I share with many worldwide, as indicated by the vast amount of effort and funding being put into solutions, such as the Sahara Forest Project. Living in a first world country gives us a false sense of food security. Our ability to walk into a grocery at any time of day and find almost endless supplies of food isn't shared with the rest of the world. Many countries worldwide are already struggling to feed their populations, and the world's population is still booming. If we continue to let desertification swallow our fertile, arable lands, even us, citizens of the first world, may find our endless food supplies disappear.